Welcome to a world where a single tweet can crash a server and a fashion choice can sell out an entire collection in seconds. It is 2026, and the Hallyu wave hasn't just hit America, it has completely redesigned the global marketing landscape. Forget traditional Hollywood celebrities. The real power players are coming from Seoul, commanding fees that would make even the biggest tech CEOs blink twice. Have you ever thought about the actual price tag behind those high-gloss collaborations? We are talking about deals so massive they are discussed in the executive boardrooms of Fortune 500 companies. From global luxury houses fighting for an ambassador title to beverage giants paying fortunes for a 10-second jingle, the stakes have never been higher. But in this cutthroat game of influence, which groups are actually the most expensive to hire? Who are the legends that demand 8-figure checks just to show up in a campaign? Today, we peel back the curtain on the business of idols as we count down the 7 K-pop groups with the highest sponsorship costs in the United States. Are you ready to see the real price of fame? Let's find out. Is it the veterans who paved the way, or the new generation currently shattering every digital record? Can you guess which group's presence alone can increase a brand's stock value by billions? We are about to uncover the secrets of the industry's elite in this high-stakes countdown. Let's get started. Number 7. Tomorrow X Together, TXT, the Gen Z icons, global fashion favorites, the million-dollar IT boys. Imagine walking down the neon-lit streets of Manhattan or the high-end boulevards of Los Angeles, and everywhere you turn, 5 faces are staring back at you from massive billboards. They aren't just pop stars, they are the architectural blueprint of what Gen Z cool looks like in 2026. Tomorrow, X Together, or TXT as the world knows them, didn't just enter the American market, they staged a fashionable coup. When we talk about sponsorship costs, we are talking about a group that moved from rookie favorites to high-fashion royalty in record time. Why is the cost to secure them so astronomical? It's because TXT doesn't just bring followers, they bring a specific, high-intent demographic that brands are desperate to capture. They are the only K-pop group to have all members collectively named as global ambassadors for a heritage house like Dior. Think about that for a second. Usually, brands pick one member to avoid a cluttered image, but Dior saw such a cohesive, high-value synergy in Subin, Yeonjun, Byungyu, Taehyung, and Hwenningkai that they signed the whole squad. This deal alone reset the market rate for fourth-generation groups. In the corporate halls of American marketing, TXT is viewed as the safe yet edgy bet, a group with zero scandals and a visual appeal that transcends language barriers. Their headline performance at Lollapalooza wasn't just a musical milestone, it was a multi-million-dollar live advertisement for their brandability. When they stepped onto that stage in Chicago, wearing custom Kim Jones outfits, the earned media value, or EMV, generated was estimated to be in the tens of millions of dollars. This is why, if a US-based beverage or tech company wants them for a campaign today, they aren't looking at a few $100,000. They are looking at a base entry of $1.5 to $3 million just for a domestic US-focused endorsement. And that's just the starting line. Their partnership with Samsung for the Galaxy series showcased how they could pivot from high fashion to boy-next-door tech influencers effortlessly. Every time Yeonjun posts a mirror selfie with a specific phone or wearing a specific brand, the sold-out tag appears faster than a heartbeat. This Yeonjun effect is a tangible metric that agencies use to justify their 7-figure price tags. But it's more than just sales, it's about the emotional resonance. TXT speaks the language of youth, loneliness, growth, and the chaos of growing up, and brands like Disney Plus have tapped into this by creating documentary content that serves as both entertainment and a massive brand-building exercise. Their sponsorship value is also bolstered by their incredible touring stats in the US. When a group can sell out arenas across the country, their per-post value on Instagram skyrockets because brands know those followers aren't just bots, they are real people with credit cards in hand. Reflecting on their journey, it's wild to think that they started under the immense shadow of being BTS's little brothers, but they've carved out a premium niche that is entirely their own. They represent a luxury meets streetwear aesthetic that is the gold standard for American advertisers right now. Agencies in New York and London are constantly analyzing their engagement rates, which often double or triple those of traditional Western influencers. When you hire TXT, you aren't just buying a face for a poster. You are buying into a cult-like loyalty that guarantees a return on investment. The cost to have them headline a corporate event or lead a national campaign has reached a point where only the big players can afford to sit at the table. Their narrative is one of precision, style, and an undeniable grip on the pulse of the American youth. As we move further into 2026, the question isn't whether TXT is worth the millions, it's whether brands can even afford to miss out on the magic they bring to the screen. Every campaign they touch turns into a viral moment, making them the ultimate value-for-money legends in the high-stakes world of international sponsorships. Can you imagine what the price tag will look like next year? It's a dizzying ascent, and TXT is just getting started. Their story is a testament to how the right image, paired with a relentless work ethic, can turn a K-pop group into a global marketing powerhouse that American corporations are literally lining up to fund. It's a game of prestige, and TXT is currently holding all the high cards. Number 6. Stray Kids. The Met Gala Kings. Global luxury muses. The self-made billboard titans. Have you ever felt the ground shake in the middle of Manhattan? Not because of the subway, but because 8 boys from Seoul just stepped onto a red carpet? We are talking about Stray Kids, a group that has redefined what it means to be a global powerhouse in the American market by 2026. If TXT was the Gen Z icon at number 7, Stray Kids is the explosive force that has officially broken the glass ceiling of Western luxury sponsorships. Their story in America isn't just about music, it's a masterclass in high-stakes branding that has left even the most seasoned Madison Avenue executives speechless. The moment they became the first K-pop group in history to attend the Met Gala collectively as a group in May 2024, the game changed forever. That wasn't just a fashion moment, it was a multi-million-dollar declaration of dominance orchestrated by Tommy Hilfiger himself. Think about the logistics. Inviting a whole 8-member group to the most exclusive event in the world is a financial and social risk that most brands wouldn't dare to take, yet Tommy Hilfiger bet the house on them. The result? A staggering $12 million in earned media value generated in just 24 hours. That is the kind of ROI that makes corporate boards in the US go into a frenzy. When we look at their sponsorship fees today, we aren't just looking at group deals, but a web of individual luxury ambassadorships that function like a high-performing stock portfolio. Take Felix, for instance. His deep, gravelly voice might have captured hearts, but his vampiric platinum blonde aesthetic captured Nicolas Ghesquière and the House of Louis Vuitton. Felix isn't just a face for LV, he is a runway-walking muse who is modeled in Paris Fashion Week, elevating his individual per-campaign value to an estimated $4 to $6 million for major US integrated launches. Then you have Hyunjin, the Versace prince. When Donatella Versace herself publicly praises an idol's energy, the price tag for that idol's time doubles overnight. His presence at Versace shows causes such a digital storm that the Hyunjin effect has become a literal term used by marketing analysts to describe a 400% spike in brand engagement. And let's not forget the leader, Bangtan, who has seamlessly integrated with the House of Fendi, bringing a sophisticated, masculine edge that appeals to the older, high-spending American demographic. This multi-pronged approach is why Stray Kids is at number 6. They don't just offer one vibe, they offer 8 different gateways into the consumer's wallet. Their partnership with Republic Records in the US has streamlined their corporate accessibility, making them the go-to group for American tech giants and lifestyle brands looking for the next big thing that has already arrived. Every time Stray Kids announces a US stadium tour, like the current Dominate 2026 tour, the sponsorship packages for their VIP lounges and tour merchandise are sold for record-breaking sums before the first ticket is even printed. Why? Because the Stay fandom in America has a purchasing power that rivals the Bayhive or Swifties in terms of conversion rates. When Stray Kids endorses a brand like Samsung or Coca-Cola, the products don't just sell, they disappear from the shelves in a matter of minutes. Reflecting on their journey, it is deeply emotional to see how a group that started with the stray narrative of being outsiders, of producing their own noisy music, has become the gold standard for American corporate excellence. They have proved that being self-produced isn't just an artistic flex, it's a branding miracle. Brands trust them more because the members themselves are the creative directors of their own image, ensuring that every endorsement feels authentic rather than forced. This authenticity is what allows them to command fees that are now comfortably in the $5 to $8 million range for a full-year U.S. domestic group partnership. They have effectively bridged the gap between the gritty world of K-pop survival and the polished marble floors of Fifth Avenue. As we watch them continue to headline major festivals like Lollapalooza and BST Hyde Park, it's clear that their trajectory is only going up. The atmosphere around a Stray Kids campaign is always one of high-octane energy and S-class prestige. They have transformed from idols into a global conglomerate where every member is a billion-won asset. In the high-pressure boardrooms of American fashion and tech, the question is no longer, who are Stray Kids, but how much do we have to pay to get them before our competitors do? They are the embodiment of the American dream achieved through a Korean lens, loud, proud, and incredibly lucrative. They have set a precedent that will be studied for decades, that a group's collective bond can be its greatest financial strength. Can you feel the intensity? Because at number 6, Stray Kids has just proven that being a stray can lead you straight to the throne of global commerce, and they aren't planning on stepping down anytime soon. Their impact is real. Their value is undeniable, and their future in the American market is paved with platinum and gold. Number 5. NewJeans. The Apple revolutionaries, Y2K cultural architects, the multi-million-dollar blueprints. Close your eyes and imagine the sound of a vintage ringtone echoing through a crowded street in Soho, New York. It's a sound that feels nostalgic yet futuristic, a perfect paradox that has come to define the most meteoric rise in the history of modern advertising. We are talking about NewJeans, the 5-member phenomenon that didn't just debut, they staged a total takeover of the American subconscious by 2026. If you look at the sponsorship landscape today, NewJeans sits at number 5, but their influence feels like it's in a league of its own, because they aren't just selling products, they are selling a vibe that has become the currency of the decade. Why does it cost a fortune to book them? Because when you sign NewJeans, you aren't just getting 5 talented girls. You are getting the seal of approval from the most valuable company on the planet, Apple. The shot on iPhone campaign for their music video ETA wasn't just a clever marketing trick, it was a tectonic shift in how global tech giants view K-pop. For the first time, Apple allowed its iconic logo to be used within the narrative of a music video, a move reportedly greenlit by Tim Cook himself, because he recognized that NewJeans wasn't just another group, they were the human personification of the iPhone's sleek, intuitive, and cool brand identity. This partnership alone set their market value in the United States at an astronomical level. We are talking about deals that now range between $5 to $10 million for a primary U.S. integrated campaign. But let's dive deeper into the NewJeans effect that keeps American CEOs awake at night. Have you noticed how the Y2K aesthetic, the baggy jeans, the fuzzy keychains, the digital cameras suddenly became the uniform of every teenager from California to Florida? That wasn't an accident. NewJeans, under the creative vision of Min Hee-jin, resurrected an entire era and made it the gold standard for Gen Z fashion. This is why brands like Calvin Klein didn't hesitate to name them as global ambassadors for their fall 2024 and 2025 campaigns. When you see Minji, Hanni, Danielle, Heron, and Hein draped in denim on a billboard in Times Square, you are seeing a masterclass in aspirational relatability. They look like the cool older sisters you want to hang out with, but they carry the prestige of old money luxury. This duality is their financial superpower. Individually, they have carved out a luxury penthouse of sponsorships that most veterans never achieve. Hanni at Gucci Beauty, Danielle at Burberry and Celine, Hein at Louis Vuitton, Heron at Dior, and Minji at Chanel. This is a grand slam of fashion. It means that even when the group isn't active, the NewJeans brand is constantly circulating in high fashion circles, maintaining a perpetual hype machine that keeps their sponsorship costs climbing. In the boardrooms of New York, marketing analysts point to the earned media value, or EMV, they generate at events like Billboard's Women in Music, where they were named Group of the Year in 2024. Their presence at that event wasn't just about the trophy, it was a 24-hour cycle of brand impressions that reached billions. Reflecting on their journey through the lens of 2026, it's impossible to ignore the internal storms they've weathered. The legal battles and corporate drama between Adore and Hybe could have sunk in any other group, but for NewJeans, it actually increased their market value. Why? Because it proved their brand resilience. The American public loves an underdog story, even one wrapped in designer clothes. Fans in the US, the Bunnies, stayed fiercely loyal, and brands saw this as a sign of a recession-proof fandom. When a brand like Coca-Cola or Nike signs NewJeans, they are buying into a community that will defend and support the group through anything. This loyalty translates directly into conversion rates, the holy grail of advertising. If NewJeans says a specific lip tint or a specific sneaker is essential, it sells out in the US faster than the shipping labels can be printed. Their impact is so deep that they have become cultural architects. They have changed the way American brands think about influencer marketing. It's no longer about just having a lot of followers. It's about having a distinct aesthetic signature. NewJeans has that in spades. Every frame of their content is a piece of art, a carefully curated documentary of youth that feels more real than the highly polished pop of the past. This is why their sponsorship cost is so high. You are paying for the curated reality that only they can provide. As we stand here in 2026, looking at the massive impact they've had on American retail and digital culture, the question isn't just, who is NewJeans? But how did we ever live without their aesthetic? They have effectively NewJeans-ified the American market. From the music to the makeup to the very way we take photos, their influence is everywhere. They are the number 5 on our list, not just for the millions of dollars they command, but for the way they've made those millions feel secondary to the coolness they bring to the table. They are the ultimate blueprints for the future of global stardom, and their price tag is a reflection of a group that has truly captured the lightning of a generation in a bottle. Can you feel the shift? Because the NewJeans era is in full swing, and the world of American sponsorship will never be the same again. It's a world where the bunnies hold the power, and the 5 girls from Seoul are the queens of the commercial kingdom. Number 4. Twice. The Stadium Queens, Billboard record breakers, the most reliable global brand. Imagine a group that doesn't just visit America, but essentially owns a piece of the American musical heart every time they step onto US soil. It is 2026, and if we are talking about the sheer magnitude of financial reliability and massive sponsorship power, we have to talk about the 9 women who redefined the girl group blueprint for an entire generation. Twice isn't just a K-pop group anymore. They have evolved into a global institution of entertainment that American corporations view as the ultimate safe bet, with an explosive return on investment. Why is their sponsorship fee so high? Because when you hire Twice, you aren't just buying 9 faces. You are buying into a decade-long legacy of trust, hard work, and a fandom the aunts that possesses some of the highest purchasing power in the Western market. By 2026, their presence in the United States has moved beyond the K-pop niche and into the mainstream elite, where they are treated with the same reverence as Taylor Swift or Beyoncé in terms of stadium-filling capabilities. Think about it. They were the first female K-pop group to headline and sell out the SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles and the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. That isn't just a concert, it's a multi-million-dollar corporate event. Brands like Amazon, Music, and YouTube have poured millions into exclusive partnerships with them because Twice represents a clean, aspirational, and incredibly professional image that aligns perfectly with Fortune 500 standards. The cost to have Twice as the face of a national U.S. campaign now sits comfortably between $6 to $9 million, and that's before you even get into the individual power of the members. Each of the 9 members has become a powerhouse in the fashion world, creating a sponsorship web that covers every luxury sector. You have Sana as the face of Prada, Momo for Miu Miu, Nayeon for Tommy Hilfiger, and Mina for Boucheron and SK2. When a brand like Prada signs a member of Twice, they aren't just looking for likes. They are looking at the conversion funnel, where ONCs in the US will literally clear out the inventory of a $3,000 handbag within hours of a campaign launch. This is a level of influence that most Western influencers can only dream of. The emotional core of Twice's value in the US lies in their resilience. They have stayed together for over a decade, renewing their contracts and showing a bond that feels like family. For an American brand, this longevity is worth its weight in gold because it means the partnership won't be derailed by internal drama or sudden disbandment. They are the golden standard of professional idols. They're 2025 and 2026 this is for, and with youth, world tour cycles have seen them partnering with global giants like Coca-Cola and various high-tech beauty brands, where their faces are plastered on limited edition packaging that becomes a collector's item the second it hits the shelves. The Twice effect in the US is a phenomenon where their music, which has shifted from bubblegum pop to a more sophisticated, mature disco pop sound, perfectly matches the aesthetic of high-end retail spaces from New York to Chicago. Have you ever wondered why you hear Twice playing in almost every major retail store in the US? It's because their sound is scientifically proven to boost consumer mood, making them the perfect ambassadors for lifestyle brands. Their growth in the US has been slow, steady, and ultimately unstoppable. They didn't just have one viral hit, they built a fortress of hits that has led to them having the most entries on the Billboard 200 for any female K-pop group. This Billboard credibility allows their agency, JYP, to demand premium rates that reflect their status as stadium royalty. When we look at the logistics of their sponsorships, it involves entire teams of American lawyers and marketing specialists who recognize that a Twice endorsement is a blue-chip investment. It's reflective of a shift in the American market where wholesome yet high fashion is the most profitable aesthetic. They have navigated the complexities of Western fame with a grace that is almost unheard of, avoiding the typical pitfalls of global stardom while consistently increasing their net worth. Every member's solo debut, from Nayeon's Pop to Jihyo's Killin' Me Good and Suyu's 2024 debut, has been met with massive US support, proving that the Twice brand is strong enough to support 9 individual empires simultaneously. This is why they are at number 4. They represent the industrial strength of K-pop in America, a group that can sustain high-level corporate interest for over 10 years without losing a shred of relevance. Their story is one of consistency, a reminder that in the fast-paced world of digital trends, there is still immense value in being the group that everyone can rely on. As they celebrate their 10th anniversary and beyond, their sponsorship costs show no sign of dipping. If anything, they have become a legacy act that still performs with the hunger of rookies, a combination that makes them irresistibly expensive and worth every single penny. Can you imagine the sheer pressure of maintaining that level of perfection for over 3,000 days? Twice makes it look easy, and that effortless power is exactly what American brands are willing to pay millions for. They are the queens of the stadium, the darlings of the fashion world, and the undeniable titans of the commercial industry. Are you ready to see who could possibly top the reliability and the reach of the most successful girl group in the history of the genre? The top 3 are waiting, and the numbers are about to get even more mind-blowing. Let's keep going. Number 3, 17. The UNESCO icons, $13 million leaders, the Unstoppable Stadium Symphony. If you think managing a group of 5 or 7 people is expensive, try coordinating a 13-member powerhouse that has effectively become the most disciplined and lucrative army in the music industry by 2026. At number 3, we are entering the territory of the heavyweights, the super idols known as 17. The cost to sponsor this group is not just a fee, it is a massive investment in a global ecosystem of talent, charisma, and a fan loyalty that is scientifically verified to be among the most resilient in the world. Why is the price tag so high? Simple, when you sign 17, you aren't just getting a group, you are getting a self-contained production house. By 2026, 17 has cemented their status as the ultimate all-rounder group, with their 5th full-length album, Happy Birthday, shattering every record in sight with over 5.4 million copies sold in 2025 alone, marking their 7th consecutive triple million seller. In the American market, they are no longer just a foreign act, they are a permanent fixture of the Billboard 200's top tier. Their sponsorship value in the United States has skyrocketed to an estimated $10 to $15 million for a full-year, high-level group partnership. But the real genius of 17's financial model lies in their unit strategy. Think about the sheer scale of the BSS, Sungkwan, DK, and Hoshi unit, which has become a commercial juggernaut of its own, landing massive deals with brands like Skechers that dominate the lifestyle and performance apparel markets across North America. When the group isn't busy selling out stadiums, the individual members are infiltrating the highest echelons of global luxury. You have SKU's, the leader, who in April 2025 was named the Global Brand Ambassador for Boss, bringing a level of sophisticated and masculine elegance that perfectly resonates with the quiet luxury trend currently sweeping through the US. Then you have Minyu, the face of the group, who has become a fixture for Bulgari and L'Occitane, generating an earned media value, EMV, that rivals top Hollywood actors. Every time Minyu attends a fashion event in New York or Paris, the digital engagement metrics go off the charts, often hitting over 40 million brand impressions in a single weekend. And let's not forget Vernon, the first ever global ambassador for Kenzo, or Hoshi, the face of Diesel, who brings a gritty experimental edge that captures the avant-garde American youth. This multi-layered approach means that as a brand, you can target specific demographics within the carrot fandom, from the high-fashion elites to the streetwear, obsessed teens. But perhaps the most significant factor driving their 2026 market value is their unprecedented role as the first-ever UNESCO Goodwill Ambassadors for Youth. In June 2024, they made history by speaking and performing at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris, and by early 2026, their Going Together initiative has donated millions of dollars to youth-led projects worldwide. This isn't just good PR, it's brand sanctity. American corporations today are desperate for ESG, environmental, social, and governance, compliance, and 17 is the only K-pop group that offers a direct, prestigious link to a global institution like UNESCO. When 17 illuminated the Empire State Building in the colors of youth in 2025, it was a multi-million-dollar marketing moment that no amount of traditional advertising could buy. It signaled to the American public that 17 is a group that stands for something bigger than just pop music. Their 2026 Right Here World Tour has seen them sell out American domes and stadiums with a frequency that puts them in the same financial bracket as legendary Western rock bands. The logistics of sponsoring a 13-member group are daunting. The travel, the security, the insurance, but the return on emotion is unparalleled. Carrots in the US are known for their organized purchasing, meaning if 17 endorses a brand, the fans will create synchronized buying campaigns to ensure the product sells out, just to prove the group's worth. This is why brands like Bibigo have tapped them as global food ambassadors, recognizing that 17 can make anything from high-end watches to frozen mandu feel like a premium lifestyle choice. Reflecting on their journey, it is deeply moving to see a group that was once self-produced out of necessity now be the gold standard by choice. They are the masters of the diamond effect pressure, makes them shine brighter. Every performance is a masterclass in synchronization, a visual metaphor for the incredible coordination it takes to keep 13 individual stars aligned for over a decade. In the boardrooms of Los Angeles and New York, 17 is discussed as a low-risk, high-reward asset because they have zero history of controversy and a work ethic that is legendary, even within the rigorous K-pop industry. Their price tag reflects this peace of mind. As we move further into 2026, the question for American sponsors isn't, should we hire 17? But how do we secure them before the other 12 brands in our category do? They are the symphony of the industry, a collection of 13 voices that together create a financial harmony that is worth every single dollar of their 8-figure fees. Can you feel the power of the SVT brand? It's a legacy in motion, a testament to the idea that more is indeed more, when every single more is a masterpiece of talent and professionalism. They are at number 3 because they have conquered the stadiums, the fashion houses, and the hearts of millions, and their value is only going to continue its vertical climb as they celebrate their legendary 10th anniversary and beyond. The Going Together era is just beginning, and the business of 17 is officially the most solid investment in the world of global entertainment. Number 2. Blackpink, the global luxury blue chips, Fashion Week sovereigns. The billion-dollar brand quartet. Step into the heart of Times Square or the center of the Las Vegas Strip, and you'll realize that in 2026, the world isn't just listening to Blackpink, they are living in a reality curated by them. At number 2, we are talking about a group that has moved beyond being pop stars to becoming the undisputed sovereign rulers of the global luxury and sponsorship ecosystem. Why is their price tag the stuff of corporate legend? Because Blackpink is the only group in history where every single member is a global powerhouse in their own right, each commanding their own multi-million-dollar empire while maintaining a collective value that is virtually peerless. By 2026, after their legendary Born Pink tour and the currently massive Deadline World Tour, which is projected to gross over $300 million, the cost to secure a group sponsorship with Blackpink in America has surged to an eye-watering $20 to $30 million per campaign. But the secret to their number 2 spot is the four-headed dragon strategy. Since they established their own independent labels, Jennie with OA, Lisa with LLOU, Jisoo with Blissoo, and Rosé with the Black Label for solo management, their market value has actually tripled. Brands aren't just buying a group, they are buying the human Chanel, Jennie, the Dior Darling, Jisoo, the Saint Laurent Muse, Rosé, and the Louis Vuitton Kith Visionary, Lisa. Let's talk about the cold, hard numbers that make American CEOs sweat. In late 2025 and early 2026, Jisoo generated a staggering $13 million in earned media value, EMV, at Coachella alone, while Rosé's partnership with Saint Laurent and her record-breaking collaboration with Bruno Mars on APT has turned her into a digital goldmine, generating over $550 million in collective EMV for her various brand partners. Lisa, fresh off her rockstar and moonlit floor solo era and her debut in HBO's The White Lotus, has become the most expensive individual endorser in Asia and the West, with a new 2026 role as a guest designer for the iconic New York streetwear brand Kith. When Jennie releases a Gentle Salon collection with Gentle Monster or headlines a Calvin Klein campaign, the Jennie effect causes a 400% spike in search traffic for the brand within minutes. This isn't just popularity, it's a conversion miracle. American brands like Razer have even launched massive Blackpink editions of their hardware in 2026, knowing that Blinks will buy a $500 gaming chair simply because it carries the group's signature pink and black aesthetic. Reflecting on their journey, it is emotional to realize that they have achieved the holy grail of fame. They are more than a group, they are a lifestyle choice. They have integrated themselves into the very fabric of American aspirational culture. Whether it's Jisoo's sophisticated grace attracting Cartier or Lisa's edgy dominance with Bulgari and Louis Vuitton, they offer a diverse portfolio of commercial perfection. Their 2026 comeback album Deadline has already seen brands like Apple and Google vying for integrated marketing spots, where the cost of a 15-second product placement is rumored to be higher than a Super Bowl ad. They are at number 2 because they have essentially won the game of individual branding while remaining an untouchable collective. In the boardrooms of Fifth Avenue, they are referred to as the Untouchables. The atmosphere around a Blackpink deal is one of extreme prestige and absolute financial security. Can you imagine the power of having 4 women who can individually crash a brand's website just by posting a single Instagram photo? That is the Blackpink reality of 2026. They are the Fashion Week sovereigns, the stadium-filling titans, and the ultimate blue-chip assets of the global economy. But if Blackpink is at number 2, who could possibly be at number 1? Who is the name that redefined the very concept of a sponsorship king? The final reveal is coming. Number 1. BTS. The unrivaled kings, the global economic phenomena, the 7 who conquered the world. If you've been following the pulse of global culture, you knew this was coming, but nothing can truly prepare you for the sheer, staggering magnitude of the number 1 spot on our list. We are talking about the bangtan phenomenon, a name that by 2026 has transitioned from a musical group into a literal pillar of the global economy. After their legendary reunion in 2025, following the completion of their mandatory military services, the BTS effect didn't just return. It exploded with a ferocity that has left American corporations scrambling to find even a sliver of their time. The cost to secure a full group sponsorship with BTS in the United States is now essentially priceless, but in terms of actual contracts, we are looking at figures that start at $40 million and can easily soar past $100 million for long-term global partnerships. This isn't just about music anymore. This is about the 7 who can literally shift the GDP of a nation. Why are they the undisputed? Number 1, because a BTS endorsement is the closest thing a brand can get to a guaranteed miracle. When we look back at the BTS meal with McDonald's, which feels like ancient history now, but remains the gold standard of K-pop marketing, it boosted the chain's global sales by 40% in a single quarter. Now, in 2026, the stakes are even higher. Every major American tech, automotive, and luxury giant has a BTS fund, reserved just in case the group decides to open up a new sponsorship slot. But let's zoom in on the heartbeat of this group's commercial dominance, especially the golden impact of Jungkook. Even while the group was fulfilling their duties, Jungkook's individual brand value reached heights that were previously thought impossible for a solo artist. His partnership with Calvin Klein wasn't just a campaign, it was a digital earthquake. The moment those first black and white photos dropped in 2023 and 2024, Calvin Klein's parent company, PVH Corp., saw its stock prices surge, and the items he wore sold out in hours across the globe. By 2026, Jungkook has become the Midas of the 21st century. If he drinks a certain brand of kombucha, it disappears. If he wears a specific brand of fabric softener, the factories have to run double shifts. This level of sold-out king energy is why his individual sponsorship fee is rumored to be higher than the group fees of most other top-tier acts. Brands like Samsung and Hyundai have built entire multi-year ecosystems around the group because they know that the army, the most organized and loyal fandom in human history, doesn't just buy products. They support their idols' partners with a fervor that is borderline religious. The emotional resonance here is deep. Think about the journey. 7 boys from a small agency who were once ignored by the Western gatekeepers are now the ones deciding which American brands get to survive the next decade. Their 2026 HWA Yang Yan Yan HWA Eternal World Tour is not just a concert series, it's the highest grossing tour in history, with sponsorships from companies like Google and Disney that are worth more than the entire annual revenue of mid-sized cities. The atmosphere of a BTS campaign in America is one of absolute prestige. It's the Super Bowl of endorsements. When they signed as global ambassadors for Louis Vuitton, it wasn't just about clothes, it was about the brand acknowledging that BTS is the culture. Reflecting on their impact, it's almost overwhelming to see how they've stayed so humble while being the center of a multi-billion-dollar storm. The Jungkook factor remains the ultimate weapon in their arsenal. His voice, his visuals, and his genuine connection with fans create a level of brand trust that money simply cannot buy. Every time he goes live and mentions a product, he provides more marketing value in 5 minutes than a Super Bowl ad provides in 30 seconds. In the high-pressure boardrooms of New York and Silicon Valley, the discussion around BTS isn't about whether they are worth the $50 million, it's about how to apologize to the shareholders for not being the one to sign them. They are at number 1 because they are the only act in the world that can claim to be a living legacy while still being at the absolute peak of their commercial power. They have redefined fame, redefined branding, and redefined what it means for a group of Korean men to lead the American market. As we look at the future, the BTS era shows no signs of ending. They have become the gold standard against which all others are measured, a phenomenon that happens once in a century. They are the kings, the icons, and the billion-dollar miracle that changed everything. Have you ever wondered what the world would look like without the purple ribbon of their influence? Luckily, in 2026, we don't have to, because BTS is everywhere, and they are worth every single penny of their legendary status. They are the undisputed champions of the world. Can you feel the weight of that crown? It's heavy, it's golden, and it belongs to only 7 names. The journey from No More Dream to the world's greatest investment is complete, and we are all just living in their world now. What an incredible time to witness the ultimate peak of K-pop history.